Like that. I have this here, tip it down, perfect. Is that gonna show the, yes, great. I hope there's a chair in here, Cathy.
What's that?
I hope there's a chair in here. How is this as a tool to come use?
What's that?
How is this to use as a tool to come down onto the?
Okay.
So I've got you set up, and I've got myself set up.
Okay.
There is a pad here that you are welcome to sit here and come down, or you can go here, however you'd like to, but I'd like you seated with your back against the barrel, and you and I will be facing in different directions. And we'll start finding a place where the back is comfortable and holding the head. But first things first.
Get down.
Yeah. The amazing Cathy Sachs. Really.
Okay. This way.
Mm-hmm. But slide your butt a little bit away. And I guess I'm going to come a little further back so that I can see you. So you're going to find it's catching you pretty high on the back for a moment.
Am I too high?
No, you're comfortable. You're good.
I'm good.
Your feet are bent. Your feet are not bent, but your feet are on the floor and your knees are bent.
Right.
And then we can wave at the camera. We're starting the program today.
Where is the camera?
The camera is behind that weight. Hello, camera. I was to not pay attention to firming up my belly. When I pick up my leg, my pelvis could sort of tweak. My pelvis could tweak, and there's sort of a dip of the pelvis this way as I try to lift a heavy leg. But by firming up the abdominals, stabilizing the pelvis, then when I lift my leg, I'm lifting from the hip joint and not from my back. Okay. Let's try a leg roll, but first, do you want to rest back for a moment and just let the head rest?
Sure.
So just, yeah. So I know that just holding the upper back up is a whole thing.
Okay. Where I feel it is all right in here.
Yeah. I know. I mean, yes, I do know. We can do the same exercise fully in prone, but I kind of wanted you to see what we were doing. Let's do, so it's toe taps. This exercise is called toe taps. You can do it in an more upright position where your upper back is supported and you're raised and your head is up, That's more challenging. So this is a little more gentle practice, is to do the toe taps all the way with your back fully on the ground. Okay, so even though your head is on an arc barrel, or a pillow, you can do the same toe taps.
Okay.
So rock the pelvis from in to imprint and release, and then rock into imprint, and then hold that there even though you're still breathing. Think about lifting the right leg, and then lift it up, and you don't want you want the pelvis steady. Use the exhale to tap the foot towards the floor, and then back up. Exhale, tap the foot to the floor, and back up. Exhale, tap the foot to the floor, and back up, and then take that foot all the way down.
Okay.
Okay? Now, thinking about it before you do it tells the pelvis, the back, the trunk, oh, I need to stabilize to support this leg. So just try 3 times. This is sort of a new sort of part of the game. 3 times I'm going to say, think about lifting the left foot, and then I'm going to say, but don't. Think about lifting the left leg, but don't. And then the 3rd time you'll lift the leg and you'll firm up the belly muscles.
Okay.
So think about lifting the left leg, but don't do it. Think about lifting the left leg and almost do it. So you're starting to engage muscles. Yeah. And this time, exhale and firm up the belly muscles, pelvic imprint, and lift the left foot off the floor. Knee comes high. And then exhale, tap the foot to the floor, and inhale back up. Cathy, you're doing great. Exhale, tap the foot to the floor, and back up. Exhale, tap the foot to the floor, and back up. And then Lisa, leave it down.
Okay.
Cassie, you were very firm through the pelvis. I didn't see a lot of rocking. While we're here, to release the hip flexor, go ahead and slide the right leg out. Just slide it out. Let it completely go, especially at the top of the thigh and the hip flexor.
Okay.
Okay. This is a new exercise or related exercise that's nice to follow the toe taps. It's called hip release. It's just a hip slide of the leg. Take the knee, bend the knee towards. I'll do a couple with you. I'm going to take my shoes off so they slide on this sticky stuff. You can be all the way down and prone. That's fine. Slide the right leg out. Yeah, let it completely release so the muscles. I always call this a taste of shavasana. Like it's just a taste of don't do anything. Let the muscles quiet down. Now, you can take your hands to your hip points, those bony landmarks of the hip points. As your knee goes out to the right or towards me, it bends a little bit. Don't let the pelvis rock to the right. So there's a little bit of a firming up right here as you tip the right knee to the right and slide it back in. We're gonna
I firm up the belly, or what?
There's a firming up of the belly, but it's a different aspect of the belly. When you're doing something asymmetrical, like your knee going to the side, it is easy for the pelvis to tip too. We don't want the pelvis to tip too. So go ahead and tip the knee towards.
When you say tip, what do you mean?
There's 2 kinds of tips that we've been talking about. One is the horizontal tip.
Like this?
One is a tip from right to left. If you take your knee towards me, and don't worry about it, this is for teaching purposes. Drop your knee towards me and let that hip tipped up slightly. But now I want you to squeeze between here and here, squeeze, and draw this pelvis back, not the knee. I didn't mean to touch the knee, but I want you to pull the pelvis back too, so from right to left, you're still at a flat plane. Does that make sense?
I firm it this way. Is that what you're saying? No.
No. There's There's a way that you can squeeze on the right, or you can squeeze on the left, and it has to do from hip point to bottom rib. There's some waist muscles called obliques. Okay. Let's just do a few hip releases, and then we'll work on the obliques some more, okay? Because as we go along, it'll make more and more sense. If not today, maybe next time. But Cathy, you're doing everything I'm asking you to do. So go ahead and slide the right leg out. We'll do one more slide, and I'll go with you. Yep. Slide the leg out, and then the knee goes out to the side, and you can roll. So now the knee is coming back towards me and rolling up. Yep. And then we're going to go one roll, the other. The knee comes towards me first, and then rolls and slides out, and then comes back. And the knee comes towards me. Well, I said one, but okay, let's do the other side. Now the left leg goes out, slides out. Slide the knee towards the camera or out to your left. And the knee bends to the side. And then you roll over the edge of the foot, and the knee comes back up to point at the ceiling.
So it's not that I do this.
I'm going to change my barrel the other way so you can see what I'm doing. You know, I think I'm a personal trainer just because I like rolling around on the floor with people. I find it very entertaining. I feel like a little kid. All right, left knee goes out to the side. Now what I was trying to show you is my hip can tip up like this. I'm exaggerating slightly, but I'm going to squeeze a little bit to keep my pelvis steady, which limits how far my knee goes, but it keeps my pelvis steady.
Okay.
And then I slide my leg out, completely release it, and then the knee goes up to the ceiling. And then we can go the other way. The leg goes straight out. The knee goes to the side, so there's an external rotation of the leg. And then slide the knee out to the side. The foot draws towards you. You hit that sticky part of the movement, and you roll over the edge of the foot, and the knee comes back to center. Okay? Now we are going to slide the hands behind the head. And it's not, and you can use just one hand, Cathy, if you like. You do not have to use both hands. It is not pulling the head. It's moving the front bottom ribs towards the hip points, which flattens here to lift the head and neck a little bit. So my head and neck are off our barrel. I'm going to move down a little bit so you can see me again.
The bottom ribs, Garnet, are here. Here's the hip point.
Okay, we've played with so far we've played with two different aspects of the abdominals. We played with the low belly,
Here.
yeah, which has to do with holding the pelvis steady in a this pelvic tip like this. I guess.
Okay.
And then we worked with not letting the pelvis tip side to side. Now we're moving, and that has to do with abdominal waist muscles.
You said waist?
Abdominal muscles that wrap the waist.
Oh, the waist. W-A-S-T.
Oh, sorry. Did my southern accent come out?
No, I thought waist. Okay, there's waist.
I see. W-A-S-T. Yeah, it's your
A-I-S-T.
Yeah, W-A-I-S-T.
So here's the waist.
Now, well, when I'm saying the waist, I mean the sides of the waist.
The size of the waist?
So that was a little bit of managing the legs, doing the hip releases, the hip slides, the leg slides. Of course, there were other things going on with the legs in terms of it was just nice to slide the legs in the hip joint. But in terms of managing the pelvis, it was the W-A-I-S-T muscles that helped with that. But now there's some muscles under the front bottom ribs, and your sternum is here and your front bottom ribs are here. And right under the bottom ribs, there's some muscles that we're going to call upon to flex your upper back up so that you can look even more clearly towards the wall on the other side of it. I'm gonna go with you so that camera can catch us both. We're starting from a resting position. Your hand, one or two, is behind your head. I'll go with one since you probably are better with one. It's not
I'm
that,
gonna do two for now.
okay, it's not that we're not pulling the head
I'm
and
gonna
neck.
do one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and actually that free arm can actually aspire to reach toward the back of your calves. You are going to use a little bit of the lower belly, which we talked about, but I want you to think about how can you move the bottom ribs towards the hip points and flex a little bit away from the barrel that's behind you and reach towards your calf and hold this position with the abdominals right below the ribs, holding you up, and then come back
The
down.
ribs are right here, here.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the muscle, whatever you call them.
Top abdominals, high
Top
abdominals.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. If you reach for the back of your calves and bring your back a little bit away from the barrel, no, and you can leave your legs down.
That's right.
You can reach for the back of your calves, and if you keep breathing and stay, do you feel muscles right here?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I firmed them. Am I supposed to do that?
Yes, you were. Perfect. Yay!
Oh. Okay.
So we've done a little bit of toe taps, the hip releases, and that was called a half roll up. Let's do several of those.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not to the point where you think about me 5 days from now, but just maybe 2.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to use the breath pattern, and I'll go with you. Is it better if I have my head this way, or if I'm beside you? Which way can you see me better?
I can see you better if your head's away.
I'll change. Changing. Don't go anywhere, Art Barrel. I want to keep track of Cathy Sachs. First of all, just luxuriously let your head rest. Now, you're not going to look at me per se. You're going to look over your knees towards the wall on the other side of the room. You're going to inhale to prepare, and there's a sense of the head being easy and light because you're supporting the head. And then exhale, you're going to flex up, look over your knees, and your free hand is reaching towards the back of the calves. Stay for the inhale and roll back to a resting position. How many did I say we're going to do?
10?
No, I didn't say 10.
5?
I said 5.
Okay.
Inhale to prepare. Exhale, don't pull the head, but move the bottom. The idea is the bottom ribs move towards the hip points. Stay, and then roll back down on the exhale.
So what am I supposed to be doing with my belly right now? Everything?
Well, hopefully you feel that top belly. So the belly does firm up here, but then I want the it's belly right here too, or abdominal muscles right here too.
Okay.
These ribs move down. You can think about them moving down. So go ahead and inhale to prepare. Exhale to flex up and look over your knees, and the bottom ribs move down. Yes. Stay for the inhale, and then roll down, releasing that muscle. We've got 2 more times. Inhale to prepare, exhale to roll up. Don't worry too much about the breath, but it's helpful. Stay for the inhale, and then roll back down. So it slows you down, it gives you a couple of seconds in an engaged position. Roll up. I'm gonna sneeze, and then roll back down. And then I'm going to look for a tissue and some hand sanitizer.
I have some tissues in my purse if you need them.
Conveniently, they have tissues in them.
Right in the room.
There we go. And then we're going to come up to seated.
Up to seated.
Now let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to get my shoes out of camera up here. We're going to use a little bit of, now we did this before and you said it hurt your back. Watch me for a moment. I'm here on forearms and I'm lifting one leg.
Oh, yes.
And then the other. But what I want to offer you is something that's a little easier, but it's a little harder to see in the camera. Just to have the barrel out of the way. You'll be on your mat. Your hands are folded under your head. I am going to cue you to watch this. Tissues are right. Remove the tissues. Like the top of my pelvis is here. If I draw my belly muscles up, it sort of supports my back, and then I can lift a leg, and it's straight along, and I'm looking for this muscle to work, and then this muscle to work. So that's a little easier on the back to be more flat.
More than using this?
No, it's easier than using this.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier. And of course, if your back bothers you, then we're gonna adjust and change. Because I want you to tell me things like that. The idea is to do things to support the back, not to stress the back. Mm-hmm. Now, but if you're in prone, how is that with your shoulders? That's one of the reasons I gave you the barrel before. If you're,
I think I'd have to try it because I don't remember.
yeah, I suspect you need just a little bit of height under your chest so that you can bring your arms to a comfortable place. That's what I suspect, and I don't have any blankets in here, but this seems a little bit high. Do you want to try it and see how you do, and then we can come up if it's not going to work? So the first question is just, as you come onto your belly, do you sleep on your belly?
No, I sleep on my back.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, you can also take your hands down by, you can also take them, you can stretch them out like this, if that's better. I don't think that's going to be better. You could also take your hands so they're under your shoulders, but you'll want to keep your head a little bit lifted.
Okay, I
How was that,
cannot
Cathy said?
stretch that right
Yeah, and then
arm out.
yeah.
But, and this, I'm supposed to do something with my belly. Though.
Now, so you have your hand underneath, and is that comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're not exactly flat through the pelvis though. Your left hip is tipped up. I think partly because you're compensating for the right side. I do like that sweater.
Well, thank you.
So I don't think that it's going to be very, it'll be a little bit, yeah, okay, well, if you can level your pelvis, that's what I'd like you to work on.
Like that?
Yeah, does that work for you? All right,
Mm-hmm.
Now, to start with, you're going to lift the belly so that the area right below the belly button, you feel like you're trying to get away from something. I find it very effective to think about, yes, like an ice cube. And then let's go with lifting the left leg, keeping the belly raised, and it's a slight lift, and then place it back down. You can exhale as you lift the other leg, yep, and place it back down. Go from left, place it back down to right. Good glutes, Cathy Sachs.
Well, I paid for them.
Draw the belly up, support the back so that low abdominals are lifted. And as you...
What do I do? Tell me again what you do.
So
with the
right
belly.
below the belly button,
Mm-hmm.
as if there's an ice cube under that tissue and you're trying to get away from it. So your belly scoops into a pelvic imprint. Yep, exhale as you lift. Place it back down. And a couple more. You can think of these as swimming. I call this exercise swimming because it's sort of like a kick, a flutter kick. Go one more time on each side. Feeling Cathy Sachs. And then go ahead and come up to a position where you can round the back. A child's pose is what usually follows this exercise.
Do a child's.
Do a child's pose. You can also use a barrel, but I don't think you need one. Do you want the barrel?
No. Is this all right? Because
Yeah.
I've got my butt hanging in the air.
The butt hanging in the air is fine. Are you able to take the butt towards the heels? And you can spread your knees apart if you need more hip flexibility. You have new shoes, Cathy Sachs.
I do. It was about time.
Well, they're very clean and nice. Good luck keeping them nice and clean like that.
Well, they're only a week old.
Well, they're very nice looking.
Thank you.
So with the child's pose, after you do any kind of back extension work, so that swimming was a back extension, it's nice to round the back.
Am I doing all right?
You do great.
Okay.
Now, come up to seated, and the last thing I'd like to do with you is some side extension work. So, as we set this up, I want to figure out how to best support you. You've been doing clamshells. When you do clamshells, what do you do with your head? Do you use a block or a pillow under your head? Do you use your
my
arm?
hand, my
Okay.
arm.
So on your left side, you use your arm. On your right side, does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And I've been cheating. I've been doing it on my bed.
There's nothing wrong with doing it on
And
your
it
back.
feels great.
Perfect. We're gonna do a little more continuation of the side series. I call the clamshells part of the side series. So come down into a position where you're on your side.
On my side?
Yeah, facing like clamshells. Yeah, you're
Okay.
supporting the head. You need support. I'm gonna,
This arm.
do you need to come up for a moment, and I'm gonna look for something to go on your head? Because you do need height under your head, otherwise it's just too uncomfortable for the back. I don't know if there's any blocks in here because they cleared everything out of here. Oh, there's perfect. Perfect. Let me give it a wet throw. It might be a little bit damp, but at least it's clean.
Thanks for doing that.
Sure, I actually think you might just need two. So that's the clean one. If we need another one, we're gonna slip it between, sandwich it between two.
So come back down.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna join you. Hope the camera catches. Now, what I do, Cathy, is when I'm using something like a pad, I wrap my arm a little bit like this.
Can't do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. And your shoulder's a little forward. Can you rock so that it might, can you rock so that this shoulder is more tucked under you? Right? Now, you want your hip points to stay right across from each other, but there's a little bit of a scoop of the belly and a lift of the bottom waist, but and extend this bottom leg out. I mean top leg, that's the top leg. And go ahead and have it on the floor and stretch it out. Because what happens is when you stretch it out, watch, this is my hip point. So I could be tipped like this and my spine kind of goes like this. I'm gonna stretch out so that my waist comes up a little bit. And then the top hand should be on the floor. And the camera can't see us at all. Maybe this is a moment I should get the camera. Because otherwise I don't know if you'll be able to replicate this. Yeah. Yep. And it's a lift and lower of the leg. Trying to maintain all that position, and the camera's moving.
So what do I do with my belly as I lift my leg?
You are going to scoop the belly and lift. You're going to scoop the belly. Hello, Cathy Sachs. You scoop the belly so that the lower back is lengthened. Watch my belly for a moment. Did you see that?
No, do it again.
It's pelvic imprint.
Okay, like that.
The hip points come up, the belly flattens, the lower back lengthens.
Okay.
And then take the top hand to the floor and then lift and lower the leg. Yep. Now it's typical that the top hip likes to tip, the top hip point tips back. See if you can keep the top hip a little forward so that the two hip points are right across from each other. Do you feel that in your medial glute?
I've moved this.
Yeah, it looks good. You probably could bring that top left hip a little bit more forward towards me. Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll do like 3 more.
So this is a clam?
This is part of the side series. This is not a clam.
Okay.
It works a similar muscle but different. And then now you can do the clams where you bend the knees, but I still want a sense of the top hip not tipping back. You actually look fine. Your knees are stacked, your pelvis is steady, and then you lift that knee. Yep, just like that. Perfect. Perfect, Cathy. Yeah, I can tell you've been doing these. Now there's a trick. This hip is trying not to tip back with the leg. It makes it a smaller movement, and I'm cueing in on your pelvis. You're trying to only move the leg and not the hip. Yep, you did it. Yep. And then just for fun, because you've gotten so good at this, lift the knee, lift the foot and tap the knees together.
Mm.
And then the feet come together, and then close the knee.
A little bit of a whatever. Okay, let's see.
Kathy, it's a super hard exercise, and you're doing really well. So lift the knee.
It's not supposed to hurt.
Well, it is gonna be a little challenging.
It is gonna be. I get it. So what am I supposed to do? Oh,
Lift
like
the knee, and then.
Oh.
That's fine. It's time for the second side, don't you think?
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Second side. I would just roll over, and I'm going to take the camera.